Intrigued by the fantasy world of witchcraft and magic, Movie Spotlights will show you a sneak peek of the best witch magic scenes in movies in action as we rank their awesome magical witchy powers. Be sure to check out the most powerful scene at the end. Let's get to it. In the remake of the 1996 version of The Craft Legacy is about a group of high schoolers who form a coven of witches who conjure spells and curses against those who anger them.
That is super nasty.
The witches use their magical powers to light fires with their fingers, telepathy, freeze time, levitate their bodies,
If we can do that, what else can we do?
Time for first
and
period.
use telekinesis to push a bully into a bunch of lockers at school. They use a Ouija board, and we see magical shapeshifters rear its head in the disguise of another person. We see our number 9 pick, the house with a clock in its wall. Lewis, played by Owen Vaccaro, is sent to live with his uncle Jonathan, played by Jack Black, who discovers he is a magical warlock. The story is about a clock hidden inside its walls, as the title obviously states, with black magic by an evil wizard as its walls go tick-tock counting down.
Clock in the walls. We don't know what it does
But
except
to what?
something horrible.
Once the clock ends, so does the world. So Jonathan and Lewis are desperate to find where the clock is hidden. We see Warlock Jonathan, who can turn on the lights with a flick of his hand, and a powerful warlock can change their appearance and that of their pets. We see the dog turn into a mouse. Warlocks can throw magical fireballs, and we visualize objects coming to life. And still, new to the craft of magic and sorcery, Lewis casts a necromancy spell in a cemetery, accidentally waking the dead who re-inhabit his dead
Who
body.
sleeps? Stone and cliff.
Number 8 is The Season of the Witch. Nicolas Cage stars as the 14th century crusader, and his comrade knight are commanded by the church to dispose of a corporate witch for spreading the Black Plague through a devastated homeland. The witch girl in this movie is Anna, played by Claire Foy,
Afraid of me? Were you?
who has an unnatural strength, as we see the accused witch easily lift a man from falling to his death as they cross a rickety rope bridge as he hangs perilously. The witch girl has the power to summon a pack of monstrous wolves. In a twist, the knights realize that Anna has been in fact possessed by a demon. This inextricably powerful and destructive force reveals itself to be a large bat with wings to encircle and incinerate a person in an instant. So, what else would they do? They start performing an exorcism. Fittingly at number 7 is The Seventh Son. In the hunt for a new apprentice, monster hunter Spook, young Thomas takes up the challenge to fight the darkness wherever it hides, including not only witches but ghouls and other random boggarts, who, you might be surprised, are actually blind. As Julianne Moore plays the queen of the evil witches, Mother Malkin, she is incredibly powerful, and she and other witches can transform into different animals like a hawk, a dragon, a demon with many arms. She has mind control powers and can easily wound someone with razor-sharp talons. Witches can teleport in the whirlwind, traveling large distances rapidly, and when witches die, they burst into flames and disappear, much like vampires. Now we have at number 6, The Witches. This is a reimagining of Roald Dahl's story. It may come as a surprise, but witches are real. As told to a young orphan boy, Bruno, and his grandmother, who is a healer, who encounter a coven of diabolical witches led by the Grand High Witch, played by Anne Hathaway, who despises all children and plan to eliminate all children from the world. Incredible witchy powers are displayed as we witness people being turned into mice and pecking chickens. This intimidating Grand High Witch can grow her arms to creepy, straight lengths, and this Grand Witch has special witch powers. The Huntsman winner's war in our number 5 pick is a prequel and a sequel to the Snow White fairy tale of Snow White and the Huntsman, a Brother Grimm's retelling. Charlize Theron is the evil witch and sorceress Queen Ravenna, and her powers allow her to see into the future.
On the wall.
But your sister holds a baby who will grow to be more beautiful than you.
That her younger sister Freya, played by Emily Blunt, whose powers are not yet developed, will have a baby from an affair with a nobleman Andrew and is pregnant with his child. The baby girl is killed by Andrew, and vibes of Elsa from Frozen, where her powers emerge to be elemental control of ice. And in a rage over her murdered child, her broken heart freezes and she kills him. Just like Elsa, Freya, the Ice Queen, builds herself a new kingdom in the icy north.
Do not love.
She prohibits anyone to fall in love, as it is forbidden by her. Freya conjures a wall of ice, not only to separate her huntsman, but to protect her huntsman from Ravenna. Not just an ice wall, but any structure out of ice, and she can blow out fire and of course freeze anyone in a second. But then Ravenna gets the last revenge as she impales Freya to her ultimate death, but not before Freya freezes the mirror, destroying Ravenna. Now we see Hansel and Gretel, the witch hunters, at number 4, in a new take on the Brothers Grimm classic, who grew up escaping and killing their witch captor. After their father left them in the woods, they were captured by a dark cannibal witch in a candy gingerbread house. Due to a blood moon, the witches have a plan to sacrifice 12 children to gain immunity to fire, which is their greatest weakness. There are white witches who retain their human appearance and use their powers for good, and then there are the Grand Witches, who are evil witches who use their powers to harm others and become deformed, looking from using black magic, as they transform into a demonic shadow of themselves. Only the Grand High Witch Muriel can revert to her original human appearance. Hansel and Gretel find that they are immune to witches' black magic, as their mother was a good white witch. Magical powers that witches use under attack, like growing trees to block off attacks in an instant. Witches can move super fast, use black magic to harm others, and transform into demonic shadows. Then there is the forest troll, whose skin is impenetrable. Now we have at the number 3 spot, the last witch hunter. There is a secret that witches still live among us. The Queen Witch has the power to curse Calder, played by Vin Diesel, upon her death to immortality. So he will be forever separated from his beloved wife and daughter in the afterlife. Now his mission is to hunt down every last rogue witch. The Queen Witch is resurrected 800 years later and uses her awe-inspiring superpowers to collectively control the minds of witches trapped in a witch prison as part of a chain to spread a black plague across the world using plague flies. In the chant, one a dreamwalker Chloe, played by Rose Leslie, which breaks the chain.
You are a traitor to the kind.
The Queen Witch has immensely powerful magic and is able to disperse a swarm of plague flies as she escapes being impaled by Calder. Her powers are unstoppable as she is super agile in battle. She can teleport at the blink of an eye as she grows tentacles with alien-like heads on each arm. The Queen Witch's vulnerability is to fire. And she can't withstand lightning strikes as she is ultimately killed by the weather. Just missing out on the top spot is the dark fairy tale Stardust. 3 witches led by Lamia, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, are seeking at the heart of a star to replenish their youth and restore their powers. The evil witch Queen Lamia ruthlessly zaps a person to get a star, leaving her in the dust. And she uses telekinesis to teleport any object, no matter how large. She can withstand lightning strikes, unlike her counterpart, the Queen Witch in The Last Witch Hunter. And she's able to use voodoo to animate a dead person to attack. Lamia is able to trap the prince and Yvain, who holds the star, by closing all of the doors and shutters of the castle and bursting the castle windows as a weapon of attack. But then in the end she is killed by a shining star. We have one more witch magic scene in the movies to go. But before we reveal the movie spotlight's witch magic scene in movies best pick, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next in this modern day retelling of Sleeping Beauty and another Brothers Grimm retelling of Little Briar Rose. We have Maleficent and Maleficent's Mistress of Evil, played by Angelina Jolie, who adopts Princess' daughter Aurora, played by Elle Fanning. Maleficent is not strictly a witch, but her powers come from a phoenix. She represents the role of a wicked witch in Sleeping Beauty. A dark fae, Maleficent is a race of humanoid winged fairies who can convert a crow into a man, as she suffers from a ruthless betrayal as her wings were cut off by a boy she trusted. Her heart turned to stone. She possesses powerful magic, can fly, superhuman strength and healing abilities, and she can rejuvenate and control plant life and use it to help her in battle, and she may Aurora fall asleep under hypnosis. Of course, she is able to cast powerful lifelong spells as she puts a curse over baby Aurora to fall into a sleep like death by pricking a finger on a spindle when she turns 16. We see her use telekinesis to manipulate and conjure objects, and metamorphosis or transfiguration to turn Diablo into any being she desires, such as a raven, wolf, horse or dragon. Being all powerful, she can even control the weather, which is a reason why this movie is in our top pick. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out some of the top superpower movies by clicking on the screen right now.